Okay, let's do it. Let's make the best cookie dough, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and gingerbread colored clay dough that you like can imagine. And yes, it is convenient pulling your clay from a bag, but it is a skill set and an ability to make your own colors with what you have. Maybe you can't like wait for the shipping time for it to get to you, or maybe you just can't afford to buy a different color. Use what you've got, and that's what I'm going to teach you in this video. So we have got number 1 white, we have got number 25 pastel yellow, and number 31 light gingerbread here. And if while I was talking I distracted you, go back and have a look at those quantities. They're only rough quantities because it all depends on how big of a batch you're making. Okay, but for the most part, it is mainly white and number 25 pastel yellow. And then you're adding a touch of the light gingerbread to sort of give it that buttery color. Now, if you want it a little darker, but remember the light gingerbread is going to send it slightly orange. The yellow is going to bring it back more into a sort of a buttery color. And then if you want to strengthen that, make it more golden, you can put a deeper yellow, a touch of a deeper yellow in again. But I didn't show you that in this video. I'm just giving you a guide of what you can do. Now, I have sped this video up 2 times because the whole rolling is a bit slow. So when I'm kneading, if you're wondering, I wonder how long she's kneading for, just time it and then double that amount of time. So, you know, in some cases it might look like it only took me 2 minutes, but in reality it took me 4 minutes to knead it. So now we're going to make dark chocolate. We're using number 9 black and number 8 raw umber brown. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of clay management in this video as well, but we're getting to that. So we're just going to knead these two together, and depending on the consistency of your clay, sometimes you can mix a big batch together and it's not too hard. And other times, like when I did that first cookie dough batch, you saw me break it down into smaller pieces just so it's easier to manage. Because it can be really quite hard to, knead a big quantity of clay. So just you can break it down and then mix it together at the end. Now, this is a trick in here that I'm going to show you. Sometimes you could think you've kneaded something really, really well, but then you'll flatten it out or roll it and you'll realize like how much marbling is still in there. So just giving you an idea of how that's coming down. You can see I need more. Now, this is little clay management here. The top of this clay is wetter than the bottom. No. The top of the clay is drier than the bottom. The bottom is a lot wetter. And just to bring the consistency back together, just mix your clay back together. You know, sometimes, let me just put a disclaimer on that. If the top of the clay is really, really hard and will leave lumps in your clay, do not do it. Do not mix that in. You're just going to ruin a whole batch instead of just a small portion on the top. But mix it back together so that as you get a handful of clay, you're getting the same consistency. Let me know, did that make sense? Now, here we go. See, you think you're kneading that quite well, and you're mixing your colours in, but look at that. As soon as you roll it, you see just how much marbling's still in there. I'll go and give it another knead. It's a little physical, but it's not too bad. And as I said, all depending on the consistency of the clay, just break it down and make it more manageable. Now, there's a comparison. It's come down into a beautiful dark chocolate, hasn't it? Isn't that glorious? Okay, we're going to take the dark chocolate. We're going to make milk chocolate. So make sure you're writing down these clay numbers because that will give you a guide when you get your next order. If you want to make some of these colors, these are the clay colors that you will need in order to do it. So we're going to add number 19, coffee brown. That's a beautiful soft consistency with that. Glorious. We're going to make a milk chocolate color. It's always nice too to have your original colours there with you, and you can see the comparison of how far that's come down already. So you can see it's already come down a fair bit, but I'm like, no, let's add some more. And this is the thing, you can adjust your quantities and your ratio to what you want to achieve. So in this case, like I could have been really happy with that colour I'd achieved. In this case, I'm like, I want it to go a little bit lighter just to demonstrate for you guys the difference of adding a little bit more. Be careful adding white. Sometimes I think everyone thinks to lighten the colour, white's the best colour to do it, but it's not necessarily the right way to go. So you could see there just how far that had come down into that beautiful milk chocolate. This is the kicker, the gingerbread dough. This is the kicker. You will not find a better gingerbread dough colour than what I'm about to show you. Number 19, coffee brown. Number 15, deep yellow. Now, for some of you guys, if you've already purchased my clay, we had a clay colour change recently. Not all of the colours, just some. The numbers did not change. So what you're looking for in your yellows is number 15. It might have been called medium yellow. It's now called deep yellow, but it's the same colour. It's just a better representation of what the colour is. That 15 is my deepest yellow colour, so I call it deep yellow now. Now we're going in with a little bit of the dark chocolate, not the milk chocolate, the dark chocolate brown to this. Now be patient when you add the dark chocolate to mix it through so that you can see the colour. But really what you're aiming for in your gingerbread tone is a mustard, keeping a mustard and a sienna tone in behind the colour. Be careful of adding too much brown that you don't go into a brown colour. Gingerbread is not brown. So you can see the best thing to do, I feel, when you're making up your gingerbread tone is to put some cinnamon beside you, because we always associate cinnamon and gingerbread. So I'm aiming for that cinnamon type tone. So remember, just whatever time it's taking me that you're seeing me need it, times it by 2, because I have sped it up. Otherwise, it's a very long video watching me just knead. That's looking good, isn't it? That's looking really good. And this is what you can do. As you're making that, you go, you know what? I want it a little bit more mustard. Go with yellow. Be careful, like when you hold that up against that cinnamon. It's easy to think I need more brown, but you're going to take that more into a brown tone. And that's not what you want for gingerbread. When I first started making it, that's what I did. And I was never quite happy with it. And then I created this colour. I just, no fail, love it. It's just perfect. And you can see I added even more of the deep yellow. This is quite a soft consistency. You can see the way that I can knead that like that. The other consistencies were a lot firmer. And this is the other thing that you need to make sure you get confident and comfortable with is the different consistencies in clay. Now that's looking pretty done. Now watch this. You can always do a quick clean up just by using a little bit of the clay. Clean up with it. Oh my. That's pretty good. I think that's ready to roll out. Let's have a quick tidy up. The only reason I had the cinnamon out was to check the colour. You watch this. I say get out a gingerbread cutter and get to making gingerbread. Oh, look at that. Does that look like the real deal? Or does that look like the real deal? Oh my goodness. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Do you love that? Was that helpful?